question come in from a lawyer buddy of mine. He's actually a partner at a law firm. But he asked me what my thoughts were on the 32-hour, 4-day work week concept that's getting pushed around through Congress, and how that might play out for his kids in the future. His viewpoint coming from a law firm where you get in a law firm and you're working 67 hours a week. They still believe in that mentality and it works for them. But he's asking me, it's more from a workforce standpoint, like, 5 years from now, where are we at? How does this affect us? And I got a few thoughts. I got this thing where I'm a very hard driving person. I've built multiple companies, and I know that I don't take days off, and I love it. I love business. I love working. It's one of those things that I never wake up in the morning like hate Mondays. But the flip side of it, that's not for everybody. I don't think everybody should or has to live that way. That's just the way that I choose to live. But then I see, there's a lot of stuff going on right now where people are really pushing this do less, and they're not telling you what the repercussions of that might be. And it's one of those things where, do you think you're going to do less and end up with more at the end of the day? And I'm not sure that's necessarily true. So breaking this down a little bit, there's something I talk about often. There's this report I read once that said the average worker in America, and I think they're looking at medium to large size corporations, only actually has like 23 or 26 hours worth of work to do, and the rest of the time is just kind of wasted. There are jobs that are very metric driven, like those people that sell mortgages, people that do sales. They're on the phone. It's very metric driven all day, 40, 50 hours a week. And they never run out of work. Those jobs, there's always another person to call. But there's a lot of jobs in the corporate world where they just don't have 40 hours worth of work for you. And that's where I could see the 32-hour week could work. It's what's the difference at this point? You got 20, let's just round numbers, say 25 hours worth of work every week. What's the difference if you spread it across 32 hours or 40 hours? I guess it's the difference between just being in the office for 40 hours and keeping a chair warm. But, there are cases where that 26 hours of work might get spread across different times between 8 and 5, for example. So the company technically needs you available during that 40-hour period, like a customer calls, a customer service call, the customer comes in. And you might only have 26 hours worth of work or 25 hours worth of work, but it's at different time frames. So I can see where certain industries and certain jobs, yeah, this works out really well. But for those other jobs that sometimes you're in project management, you're trying to hit some deadline on a piece of technology going live, you're in sales. I have I have a lot of lawyer friends, and when they got a case coming up, it's they're 12, 16 hours a day. They cannot show up to court unprepared. And a lot of times they work, all through the night. They work weekends so they can get ready for court next week. Nobody tells the CPA in February that they only should work 6 hours today. So that from the end of December, up until, even May, CPAs are very busy. And then, back to that work-life balance, they spend 4 or 5 months really on the grind, a lot of long hours, and then they still work during the summer and fall. It's just slower. But I think we're looking for this Shangri-La of work-life balance where we work 6 hours a day and spend 2 hours with our children and 2 hours with our partner. And we want this perfectly compartmentalized life, and it doesn't exist unless you're extremely wealthy or lucky. So my concern is what happens is we keep kind of getting people to think that doing less is going to equal more. And I don't want to see it drag down the people that are really trying to get somewhere. That if you have high ambition, you're trying to make stuff happen, a lot of times we are trying to simplify things so we can not let these people climb to the top. And a lot of the time it's those people that are pushing change. Those are often the creators. Often that is the innovators. And I don't want to see that happen. So I'm a little worried that as we push towards this, work-life balance thing that we're not fully thinking through, what it takes to be a leader in this world right now. Yeah, we might be a leader in work life balance, but I want to see, cancer get cured, for example. I probably don't want to see another social media app developed, though, either. So, something to think about. But I'm one of those people that, like, 40 hours is an arbitrary number. If you go back 200 years ago, there was no, I mean, they talked about even back then, you didn't even eat breakfast. Breakfast was a luxury. No one had time for that. It's one of those things that you had to wake up in the morning and go kind of like hunt and kill and harvest your own food and make your own clothes and or do something so you could barter for those items. There was no taking off Saturday and Sunday. Not until we kind of got in this modernized industrial world where we had these quote unquote jobs. Every day you woke up and you provided for yourself. Where we're at right now is we want to take Saturday and Sunday off and we want to stop providing for ourselves. And now we want to get to the point where we want a 3 day weekend where we're not providing for ourselves. And we want to be able to work Monday through Thursday and make enough money to buy all the things we need because, everyone does something for us. Someone's working at a power plant, so we have electricity. Someone's working at a water plant, so we can get water. Someone's growing our food, transporting our food, cooking our food. And to get all those items that we normally would have went and dealt with ourselves, we pay someone else to do. Well, now we want to condense that into a 4 day week. And will it become a 3 day week? Well, do you like going to CVS at midnight when you need that bottle of Motrin? Well, they might not be open anymore. We're very used to this lifestyle of convenience where if you need medicine at night, you can get it. If you're driving home from a late night out from a concert, you want to stop at Taco Bell, it's open. Well, a lot of this stuff's going to come to an end if we keep pushing this way. And maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. But I often run into people that they want all these things, but then they get mad when like customer service sucks. And it's like we're going to end up in a world where people are working less and less and less, and companies are going to be pushed to they're going to get real thin on staffing, and you're going to, even now you see customer service is terrible during COVID. A lot of things are going to go away at that point. So I'm worried about the effect on business, especially small business. Large companies can often digest these kind of changes. The small business that's on the rise or trying to rise. What happens when we start crushing entrepreneurism? Now you're looking at small business employees, roughly 50% of all people in the country. At this pace, it's going to be less and less and less where you're going to have to go work for Amazon or Walmart. That's going to be your choices. And it's like, well, people don't like working for those big corporations, but some of the things we're doing is destroying small business. So your only option is to go work for Amazon. And I don't think that sounds fun either. So when my friend asked me, what are my thoughts on this? I think it'd be good or bad. If you can get your work done in 32 hours and it doesn't harm the company and it all works out and you actually get some more time for your free time, it sounds awesome. I also just worry, like, what's going to happen to those people that want to work 40 or 50 hours, that really want to climb the ladder fast and want to get somewhere in life. I never like holding another person back. Like the people that want to get somewhere, I want to see them fly. I just think that's like America at the end of the day. The people that want to put in the work and make big things happen should go make big things happen. I don't want to see them handcuffed. I think that's what keeps us moving forward. That's why so many technology companies have been founded in this country. A lot of times you look through Europe and you're like, well, why isn't this like crazy, technological startup base over there? And there is. It's getting more, but not like it is here. And it's one of those things like we have that edge. I don't want to lose that edge. So I think it just depends on where you're at in life and what you want. But if you keep reading these articles, you have Congress telling you work less, work-life balance. You go to school, work less, work-life balance. You turn the TV on and it's work-life balance and corporation sucks and why are you working? And yeah, you start believing all that. And then you wake up at 40 years old and you're not where you want to be. And then that's where I think the issue becomes. It's you have, 40 years roughly you're going to work, unless you're lucky enough to retire early. What are you going to do in that time frame? Your 20s and 30s is when you work hard and you make stuff happen and you start to enjoy your career a little bit more in your 40s. But if you spend your 20s and 30s chilling, where do you end up at 42? That's the question. And a lot of times when we're coaching people, it's like, don't waste your 20s. Let's go. You got energy. You're healthy. Life's less complicated. You shouldn't be thinking about a 32-hour work week. It's, man, at least get 40 in. And, would it kill you to get in 30 minutes early and stay 30 minutes late? You know, for many people that won't, we just say, I don't want to do that because I've been told 50,000 times in my life that working beyond 40 hours is bad. And I'm like, I don't know, man. If I think about my grandpa, my great grandfather, like the way they worked, they never thought that way. And they got up in the morning, they said this is what needed to be done, they need to do it. If you have that mentality, look at the most successful people around you and assuming they didn't have family money, ask yourself if it does it look like they work 30 or 32 hours. Yeah, you're going to find out really quick that's not the answer. So if you're happy getting your work done at 32 hours and you're happy with your career, then this is perfect. If you're trying to get somewhere, it's probably not so perfect. But, if we go back to the 32-hour thing and other people want to put in more work, it might create opportunity. Which, again, that's going to create an even bigger gap now because people are going to want to do less and less and less. And the people that are doing more, they're going to make even more money. Which now you're going to see even larger, probably, wealth gaps because there's always going to be those people that go out there and do more. So, to my buddy, I hope that answers your question. It probably doesn't because world's changing. Doesn't mean it's always changing for the better. Doesn't mean it's changing for the worse. It's just changing. But at the end of the day, I never mind working myself. There's things I want to achieve. I'm achieving the things I want to achieve. I don't have to explain myself to anybody. Whether I want to work 20 hours, 40 hours, or 60 hours. Like, I go do what I want to do to go achieve what I want to achieve. And when I achieve those goals, I'm happy. I don't need someone telling me you need to work less. Many of the people that told me I need to work less are the people I watch struggle the most. And as someone that grew up with that much money, I remember what struggle was like. And I'll choose working a lot and not struggling. There was nothing noble about the struggle game. Like, I'm never going back to that. So that is my thoughts. If you have some comments, drop them below. But until then, we'll catch you on the next one.